Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Vegans Across the World. Today, we are in Stockholm with two guests, Martina and Linda. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So, what I'm going to do is show where you're at in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to give a few facts about the area that you're in. Okay. And when I share this, let me know if you see that.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can see.
Okay. There you are. And we're going to go in a little bit. And you're both in Stockholm?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Yeah. A few facts about Stockholm. Well, Stockholm is the capital of Sweden, and it's encompassing 14 islands and more than 50 bridges. It's famed for its iconic city hall, the world's first open-air museum, and the ABBA Museum. And yeah, I would love to go there. Also,
I haven't been there myself, actually.
Oh, no. Well, I'll have to come visit, and you'll go.
Yes, of course.
It's also the home to the world's first national city park. And the name Stockholm first appeared on record in a letter in 1252, which I thought was very interesting. It has the tiniest street, which is only 90 centimeters wide. And where we got the term Stockholm Syndrome, where during a 6-day bank siege in 1973, the hostages began to identify with their captors. And Sweden has thousands of coastal islands, along with vast boreal forests and glaciated mountains, and a population of over 10 million people as of the 2019 census. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Please go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us, I don't know who wants to go first, but for example, what do you do and what kind of activism are you involved in? Who would like to go first?
Do you want to go?
Start? So I'm Linda Lindström. I'm 41 years old. I'm living here in Stockholm. I have been an activist a year, actually. I think I celebrated my first birthday like a week ago or something. So I actually started during Corona.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a long process, but then I had to start. Yeah. I'm working within the IT industry on a smaller consultancy firm, and I'm working with sales and recruitment, and I'm taking care of my colleagues. And I'm a team member in several groups. I'm very active in Animal Rebellion Stockholm. Like a sister Animal Rebellion is a sister organization to
Extinction.
Thank you. Extinction Rebellion, and we are demanding a plant-based food system.
Yeah.
And I'm also a new president in a new organization called Total Transparency, and in Sweden, Swedish Total Insyn, where Martina also is a board member.
Okay.
And then I'm also active in Uppsala Outreach, a group in a nearby city, and we meet like every second week and do outreach a few hours. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Martina?
So that's me.
Martina, would you like to tell us a little bit about you?
So, so I'm Martina Vedin, and I'm 28 years old. I don't know. I've been vegan and active for 2 years, and I've been mostly documenting farms around Sweden, but also in Europe and mostly Sweden and Spain. And now I'm working a lot with the newly started organization Total Transparency, but it's Total Insyn.
Now, what is Total Transparency about?
So it started out as a campaign like 1.5 years ago, and that we are demanding total transparency into every farm and slaughterhouses in Sweden. So we are focusing on the Swedish industry, and everything that we document and share is Swedish new farms that we have documented recently. So yeah, it's about that. And now we are an organization, so we have to switch a little bit of how we are going to work for the animal rights, but more with the politically and like, yeah, so.
Yeah, I actually did see some of your pictures about you going into farms and stuff like that and filming there. And that looks really interesting. I hope maybe we could talk more about that as well. But let me ask you both, where are you originally from? Are you both from Stockholm originally?
Yes, yes, I am from a little city next to Stockholm.
Okay.
So I lived there for like 25 years, and then I moved to Stockholm.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Martina?
Yeah.
I lived in Stockholm all my life, so I'm born and raised here. So.
Okay. So
you know more about Stockholm now than I ever did.
Have you guys ever been?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been down that 90 centimeter wide street?
Yeah.
You have?
Yes, in the middle of town.
Sideways,
Yes.
I suppose. You have to
Yeah.
be sideways.
Yeah, it's very narrow. It's like so
Yeah,
tiny.
I heard it also has lots of steps. It goes uphill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Wow, weird. But anyway, very interesting nonetheless. But so both of you can tell me what the culture and food is like there in Stockholm.
Oh,
Either one
yeah.
of you. You can tell us about the culture. You can tell us about the food. Food has a lot to do with culture sometimes. So
I think like
We have a lot-
the
yeah.
Swedish culture is very diverse. Do you say diverse?
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
because we have a lot of immigrants, and so it's like so. And Stockholm is very open into like gay culture, and so I think that we have a very open in Stockholm, at least because it's the capital. But I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a melting pot, you would say.
Yeah,
It's
so.
we have like food from all over the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's nice. And I think we have a few very good vegan restaurants as well. So I think it's coming more restaurants to start just plant-based too.
Yeah.
So that's our growing area. It's really good.
Yeah, and I'm sure you get a lot of tourists there as well. It's
Yeah,
a big
it's a
tourist
lot of
area.
tourists here. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you, you guys kind of told us how long you've been vegan. Did you say, Linda, you said about a year?
No, I've been vegan 2 years.
Okay.
I've been an activist for a year.
Okay.
And so and I've been I've been a vegan for soon 2 years. I started like the summer 2 years ago, but I was like a vegetarian for 23 years. Well, not like I said, I was a Stockholm vegetarian because I eat fish, so that's not really a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Yes, but I was it for like ethical reasons, but I never did the connection to like
Dairy and eggs.
diaries. Yeah, and yeah, so and I don't know when I really like found the connection, but I know I got older and I started to think that why should we eat meat? It's wrong, for the climate, the health, and especially for the animals.
And you don't know what flipped that switch for you? There wasn't one specific event or information that you got that suddenly.
No, I don't think it was something specific. It it's like yeah. First, I was a vegetarian, then I stopped eating like egg because I really don't like egg. I like egg as ingredients, but not like eat egg.
Yeah.
Not so much. And then I thought, well, there's plant-based milk, so why should I drink milk?
Yeah.
So it's more like, yeah, I dropped that and then I dropped the other thing.
So it was a bit of an evolution for you.
Yes, exactly. And I've been acting just a year, and this year has been very intense. And it's been also during Corona. So people who met me or knew me like before Corona, they knew like the old Linda. And now during Corona, I have like been in a progress, and so this is like the new me. And I know that has been hard for many of, not maybe none of my friends, but a few friends.
Sure.
And that's sad.
Yeah. Martina, what about you? How long have you been vegan again?
I've been vegan for 2 years.
Okay. And what made you what flipped the switch for you? Were you a full-on meat eater before you went vegan? Was there just some information that you got or activism that you saw that turned you vegan?
No, like I haven't seen any documentary that everyone like this made me vegan. I haven't seen any of it. I didn't like meat when I was younger. I couldn't swallow it. Like I had a very problem with eating before. And like when I went to school, I always eat like the plant-based or vegetarian or and then I started to eat like hot sauce, like chili on everything. So I couldn't even feel the taste because that's what's my like to eat what everyone else was eating in my way. So I think that I was on my way to become vegan, but it was when I met a girl that my ex-girlfriend. Then she was an activist, and she was like she just talked to me about animals and then I need to make this decision now, like so.
So that was your ex-girlfriend that was an activist. So you went vegan for that. And now you're in a relationship now, I believe, aren't you?
Yeah.
Is she vegan?
Yes.
Awesome.
For 5 years.
Great. So are any of your family or friends vegan? Obviously, Martina, your girlfriend's vegan, but what about your friends, your family? And what did they think of your veganism?
Do you want to start, Linda, or should I?
Well, I can start. So when I became vegan, I didn't know another vegan person. So it was, and I think that was why I didn't have became vegan before. Actually, probably that's why. So I have a boyfriend. We have a long distance relationship.
Okay.
And he lives in Munich. He's not a vegan. He eats a lot of plant-based, and we eat vegan when we are together.
You're still working on it.
Yes, I am. Yeah, he likes
practice.
cheese. He likes cheese and milk. Not milk. We have something. It's like yogurt. In Sweden, we call it filemjölk, and he really likes it. So when he's in Sweden, he really loves the Swedish cheese.
Well, you'll just have to find a veganized version of it, won't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Learn how to make a veganized
I'm trying. Version. Exactly.
Yeah.
A little bit every time we meet.
Well, hopefully you will change him over.
Hopefully he will be vegan. I hope so. Someday, maybe.
Martina, what about you? Any of your friends are?
When Linda talked about this yogurt, the feel, I started thinking about like we have a lot of like milk industry in Sweden, and you asked before, about our culture in Sweden, and it's like drinking milk and all this feel that we call it.
Yes.
So my family. My parents are not vegan. My mom, when I went vegan, she was like, she really started to have a lot of anxiety and started to eat a lot of plant-based on her own. I didn't talk to her about animal rights or veganism if she didn't bring it up, and she always bring it up, so we talked about it. So
Sounds like you brought a little bit of her guilt bubbling up to the surface.
yeah, like one time she told me she was cooking some food, and then she started puking because she was seeing the eyes of a pig that I published online, and that she couldn't stop thinking about it. And like, I didn't talk to her about it and like pushed it on her. She just saw it, and she knows that it's my footage, and I think that it affected her. And then she couldn't eat more, so she tried the day after, and she couldn't eat then either. So my father is a big meat eater, but I think that he supports me in my work for trying to make the world a better place for animals. I think that he's proud of me. My friends are like, all my friends, I would say, are vegan and animal rights activists. Like, so
Yeah, when you become an animal rights activist, you kind of build a new family, don't you?
yeah, and
Yes,
I
you do.
also was traveling a lot, so I didn't see my other friends. And then it's not like they didn't want to be my friend, or I didn't want to, I just like drove away in the activism life, and
Life just took you in another direction.
yeah, so
Some people, they get married and they go off, they have kids, you don't see them again suddenly, and
yeah,
some people become animal rights activists.
Yeah, exactly. So my parents are also meat eaters.
Yeah.
I think I'm like the opposite from Martina. I'm trying to like convince my parents to go plant-based, but more from the climate perspective, and more like it's better for the health.
Yeah.
I've heard it's hard to reach them on the ethical level, I think.
But how
So I'm
do you
trying.
guys deal with, like, family gatherings or holidays or anything like that? Have you taken the liberation pledge, or do you still eat with them? Do you sit down at the table during holidays when they serve meat? Uh, or do you have vegan holidays? What do you do? How do you deal with that? Who
so
wants
I
to
work
answer
in
You want
first?
to start?
Yeah, but I work in the school. I'm a teacher, so I have to eat with the kids. So it would be hard for me to like, I can't eat with them. And
Sure.
also, I think it's good. Like, I have to protect myself because it's hard. But at the same time, I think it's good to have conversations with them. And also, they often feel like they are doing something wrong because they are eating in front of me. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But what about,
So
I mean,
I
with
think it's hard
family?
to eat with the
But I mean, I was saying, what about
they
with
my
family?
family cook
Because
all vegan.
they do, they do cook vegan.
Yeah. So if I come over for like the this Christmas, it was all vegan, and afterwards I
Great.
was going to Linda's place, and we had a vegan animal rights gathering. So
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I basically took the pledge. It's probably been almost 10 years. I don't know. I didn't know what the pledge was when I did it, but it was a Christmas dinner that I had an argument with one of their friends they had invited over. And my even though my mother made vegan dishes for me, this gentleman gave me a hard time at my family's house, and that's when I finally realized, it just snapped. I said, I'm not doing this again. I'm tired of, like, people
Mhm.
singling me out. Not my family actually, but other people at these gatherings.
Mhm.
singling me out and giving me a hard time, and I'm trying to sit here and be patient, and they're the ones that, are just being really rude, and that's when I decided never again. And my mom and her husband have been really good about, if we eat together, whether it be holidays or just going out, it's vegan. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
so they've been good about
That's
that.
very nice. Yes.
Yeah.
My with my with my boyfriend, we eat plant based. Sometimes he eats fish. Well, that's not plant based, but yeah, sometimes, but not often. He should never eat. He would never eat meat in front of me. So that's good. My so I haven't been so like what do you say, an activist so long. So this is pretty new for my family, and I think so. Next time we will eat, they will absolutely think about it. So my parents, they try to they are trying to eat a lot of vegetarian food. So they will. I don't think they will serve like meat, like flesh or pork or something. But I think they could eat like fish in front of me without caring or without thinking about it.
Fish
So I
is
think
meat.
I will. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is for me too. But I don't think they see the connection.
Yeah, I know. A lot of
Um,
people ask me, and it's funny because when I've had people ask me over the years, "Can you eat chicken?" That's an animal,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it
you
is.
know,
It is.
but they don't
Yeah.
connect that. It's really
No.
weird for me.
But at least
Yes.
seafood, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Chicken
seafood.
and
yeah,
seafood. Like,
they
And
don't.
it's also hard because my father, he dives. So when he was in Croatia a few years ago, he was diving a day, and then he was so disappointed because he didn't see any fish. And then yeah, and he told me, and I said, okay, Dad, well, don't eat fish at night after the diving because you're eating them up.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe they
And
need
I
to
don't
watch.
feel he has seen it. I don't think he has seen the connection yet.
Yeah, maybe
But
they
I
need to
think it
watch
will come.
Seaspiracy. You know.
Yeah, I
yeah.
told them.
Yeah. I mean, I think it took me a while because at the end of, before I became vegan, I was still eating fish. I hated eggs. I'm
Mm.
allergic to dairy. That was no problem for me to drop. And meat wasn't, you know, meat. Here I go saying fish is not meat. Other meat, land animals were not hard for me to
Yeah,
drop. But I was still eating fish. So yeah, I think
yeah,
people don't make the connection right away. That fish feel pain. They do
yes,
feel, we can't hear them scream. So we don't get the connection that they feel pain. It's really weird,
Yeah.
but I understand. I
yeah.
understand.
So I'm going to ask my parents, like, can we eat like at least vegetarian food when we eat together?
Yeah, the only
And I
problem I
think
have with
they will take
vegetarian
that.
is there's lots of dairy in it. Because
Yeah, I
I
know.
know at the end phase when I eliminated flesh out of my diet, I doubled up on the dairy. I mean, I'm allergic to milk, is what I should say. So I never had a problem. I had been drinking plant-based milk for years before I went vegan, because that would send me to the hospital. But I could get away with cheeses, some ice creams, stuff like that, some dairy and foods. I could get away with that. It was a glass of milk that would send me to the hospital. But I know I doubled up on those things when
Yeah,
I eliminated flesh, and now knowing that the dairy industry is even more heinous than the flesh industry, um, I couldn't deal with vegetarian meals,
no,
because the dairy industry gets me so upset. It, but you guys have a lot of dairy.
yeah,
You have a big dairy industry there.
yes, we have.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I lived in an area that was, farmers, so, yeah, there was dairy industry there
Mm.
when I first went was starting to go vegan. But, so would you say it's easy or hard to be vegan where you live?
No.
I
It
think it's easy.
You think it's easy?
Yes.
Yes,
Martina, you think it's hard?
it's very.
No. Oh, I got the question
I
wrong.
said,
I'm
"Is
so
it
sorry.
easy or hard?" You just said no.
No. I just heard the question, is it hard? And I was like, no.
Okay,
No, it's not
okay,
hard.
okay.
No,
So
not at
it's
all.
easy. It's easy
It's
to be
very
vegan.
easy.
Do you have a
Yes,
lot of substitutes there? You have a couple of vegan. You said you
yes,
vegan restaurants, but in the grocery stores, you easily find.
Yeah, in every
yeah,
like common supermarkets, you have it, like a lot of different vegan cheeses, tofu, and like I think we have a lot. If I compare
yeah,
to other countries, I
Oh
really
yeah,
think that I've been to, and like in some countries, you can't even find one tofu to choose from. Like,
really?
yeah,
Wow. Yeah, and more than food though, what about like, like shampoos and soaps and makeups and
yeah,
alternatives to like
yes,
wool and leather and stuff like that? Are all those available very easily?
yes.
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay, great.
so that's
But
very good.
so that's great. It's easy to be vegan there. But what would you say as vegans is the struggle?
I think maybe the struggle is to the culture is that you should eat meat and use dairies. So I think that's the struggle. It's what do you say? It's a strong culture with farmers and yes, and we also like Sweden. At least in Sweden, we speak about that we are having the best welfare, animal welfare in the world. So everyone is convinced that we have the best animal welfare, and yeah, and all people think like all farmers in Sweden treat animals right. I think that's hard for people to understand that the industry is very bad
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
animals.
like we have a culture how we speak about the animal industry in every country, but here it's like we have painted this picture of the Sweden animal welfare, and it's like so super strong. Like
Yeah,
that is very hard. I think it's a struggle for us because because I'm even when I'm out documenting farms, I'm like so shocked because I have this image in my head from my childhood, and like how we treat the cows and like the dairy industry that they painted up so wrong. So I think that's very hard.
yeah,
Yeah, you know what though? Of all the people, like any place that I've been to where I've done outreach, I've been out of the country a couple times. I've been around the country a couple times. Talked to people in different countries. It seems to be the same. Everybody gets this
yeah.
image that
Yeah,
that doesn't happen here. We treat our
No,
animals great, and that's what they're
yeah,
fed. You know.
yeah, and that
So
can't be Sweden. No, that's
yeah,
not Sweden.
yeah. People
That's
always
the
want to say, "No, that
typical
doesn't happen here. It
comment.
doesn't happen here."
Exactly.
mm,
I was in Mexico City, and I would have people from there say, "This doesn't happen here." I would have people from other countries saying, "Well,
Yeah,
that doesn't happen where I live."
yeah,
exactly.
It's
And
just
that's why our organization, Total Transparency, is so important
yeah,
because we can really show that this is actually happening in Sweden, like every day. And
yeah.
it's not in one farm because everyone said, well, that's just in one farm. That can't be in like every farm. But we can show that this is actually happening in every farm.
So please
So
tell
that's why
me,
I really like it. Yeah, total transparency.
yeah, please tell me more about what you're doing with that with the total transparency. What are you doing exactly? What I mean, how are you presenting this? What is your goal?
like our goal, like we have this that we are demanding total transparency, and we are doing that in different ways, but it's also to make like the public understand the reality inside the farms.
I mean,
uh,
what are you doing? Are you like filming? Are you documenting? Are you sharing that documentation? Are you
yeah,
going
Yes.
trying to put things through
and
legislature?
we are trying to put it in media, and in 20 minutes on Swedish television. There will be a program, and they are going to have like 50 minutes from a farm we went into, and it's like on the best time in Sweden when they broadcast. So we're very excited about this.
Wow.
Like it's very hard, but like to get it out on the television is very important. How the media, because it affects the public so much. So we went into caged hen, or like battery hens, and we're showing one of the stable of the one area in Sweden, like the biggest egg production companies there, and we have TV with us, and we are liberating 24 hens. And also we send so much footage from the last year that we have documented on Swedish farms. So they are also going to show some short clips from like pig farms and dairy and so on.
So who films this, Martina? Is it you that films this stuff, or how did you get involved in doing that?
I have been documenting during the days when we do like this open actions. We live broadcast on our Facebook and Instagram, and to show like this is now and this is in Sweden. Sure. But it's also important to broadcast live, I think, because to show like this is Sweden and make it more.
And you're not just cutting, you're not editing it, you're not making anything up. But
so it started as a campaign, and like 5 months ago, we decided to become an organization. So now we're an organization. We are trying to work politically, and we are doing many manifestations. We try to have manifestations every weekend, and once a week in Stockholm. And we also have a few local groups in Stockholm. No, not in Stockholm. Sorry, in Sweden. So we have
manifestations.
Working with showing the footage. And the film.
Yeah, and if you guys, whatever information or links you can give me, I will include those under the video when this airs, so people can get involved or even promote you or somehow, support you in any way that they can.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So when we are out on the street, it's also like people only know that we have the best animal welfare and the protection laws are like very, but they don't know what it says in the laws, and they don't know what the reality of that is. So it's so now we are at the moment trying to make the connection between the laws and the reality, because it's not only that we want everyone to know that people are breaking the law. It's also like they are not taking care of the animals, including as the law says, but it's also to make people question the laws that we have in Sweden.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So how do you, with all that you're doing, how do you think that people where you live, how do you think people view animal rights in Sweden?
I think that depends on who you're asking.
Yeah, exactly. I think
well, in general, what kind of reception are you getting from this? It sounds like you're getting a great reception from the news, or didn't you say they're going to do it? They're going to show in prime time, they're going to show your stuff, right? They're going to air that. Didn't you say that? So that's good. I mean, that's good right there.
That's very good. That's awesome.
So as the reception of what you're doing, what do you think in general is the thoughts about animal rights, not just veganism, but animal rights? Because a lot of people see veganism as just a diet, but when you talk about like actual, like consideration
So-
for the animals. You know, it's a different situation sometimes.
Yeah. So most people, I think, they want the animals to have a good life. So I think when you try to talk about total transparency with people, it's easier to reach them. But we get we got a lot of support from non-vegans, but we get a lot of hate also, and they are in the media calling us terrorists and extremists and like everything. So
The terrorist
Yeah.
with the camera.
yeah, you know. So
Actually, they wrote an article about us
Yeah.
when they did like ads about this article this night that they are going to show, and then and they wrote in the newspaper that we were terrorists.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the same the world over.
Yeah, and
Unfortunately.
I
But
also
every
document. Sorry, Linda.
sorry, no, sorry. Continue.
I was just when was the Arla? We have a dairy company called Arla, and it's the biggest one in Sweden, and it's like in other European countries also. So it's very big. And me and one more activist documented that, and they also broadcasted it on the TV. And after that, I got a lot of hate. Also a lot of love, and people wanting to stop eating, consuming dairy, but a lot of hate, and they painted a picture as me as a terrorist. And I was like, I was going in there filming, and then I went out. And even when they dropped the charges on me, like then everyone was calling me a terrorist and a criminal and everything. So, yeah.
Well, stay strong. Keep fighting the good fight. I'm glad to hear that the charges were dropped. So,
but the good thing is that every people we talk to really want to change for the animals, or everyone wants their meat to like be well treated. So I still think we can reach them. That's why I like total transparency. You can talk to them, and they really care about it. So they also few. Yeah, I think we got like 4,000 followers or like followers at Facebook. So there's a big interest of knowing how it looks in the industry, I think.
Yeah. You're getting some exposure. That's great. That's great. You're or giving the animals some exposure. That's good. So with all the activism that you guys do, what would you say your favorite form of activism is?
Social media, I think, because we can reach so many people. I like that, and you can also pay, so even more people can see the footage that we have, and the footage is really good. So yeah, I think that's my favorite. But I also think it's important to be outside and show us show that we are real and not just behind like the screen or in social media as well. So we have to be out also and meet consumers.
Sure.
Yeah, because
I think
that's only because you are a people person and can talk to people. So
yeah, maybe.
You, Martina, what's your favorite form of activism? Is it being behind the camera?
It's the thing that I've been doing the most, so I guess I feel like that's my thing. But at the same time, it's very it's breaking your mental health a lot. Like you
I can
teachers,
imagine having to see.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, but documenting and filming and trying to reach people on social media is the thing that I've been doing the most. And I think that the social media, even more now during Corona, have to have a bigger place in the activism.
Sure. Yeah, I could see that. Definitely. I mean, social media has the reason I started doing these interviews on started, trying to get my YouTube channel started was because I do street activism, but it's just not making the impact that it used to because we're not getting as many people on the streets
Yeah.
as we used to, and
Yeah.
everybody's on social
Exactly.
media. And everybody's on social media, so I was like, "Well, it's time for me to learn this stuff," you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and give it a go. Try to feel like I'm doing something,
Mm.
something more. We still go out on the streets. It's just that you don't get the audience you used to. The audience is all online, so more power to you. So, let me ask you: if a vegan visits where you live, where should they go? That doesn't have to be a restaurant.
ABBA Museum.
ABBA Museum, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, they have
Linda needs to
to.
go to the ABBA Museum.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really need to go. Well, I think like the old town, it's a classic place to show every tourist who comes to Stockholm. And of course, they have to join a manifestation with total transparency.
Sure.
We do it every week. And we're also doing a lot of other activism
What
every
do
week.
you do during the manifestation? Is that like street outreach or what are you doing?
Yes, it's outreach, but it's not like trying to get the people vegan. It's more like talking about the importance of total transparency. And we also have a petition to the Swedish Parliament that we demand, yeah, uh, camera. What is it called?
CCTV, closed caption
Yeah, that
television in the
when they
cars.
are filming, that we want transparency.
Yeah.
So like we need cameras in the slaughterhouses, transport, and in the farms. So
Yeah.
it's more like talking about the importance, not trying to, uh, not letting
Basically
them
your
find a
can we would
connection.
call that canvassing probably is what we would
Okay,
call that is
yeah,
trying to just outreach for political cause
yeah,
or something like
it's
that.
more
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's your favorite vegan dish that somebody should try, or even it could be a traditional dish that's been veganized. Is this a hard one?
My vegan spring rolls, I think.
Vegan spring
Uh,
rolls.
yes, my own, I think.
Are
Yeah.
there any traditional dishes to Sweden that they should try that are vegan, of course, or that can be
I don't.
easily made vegan?
I think most of the food can almost get like veganized today here in
Yeah.
Sweden. So we eat a lot of like fish during Christmas and midsummer weekend, and then you can do that with like vegetables instead. So yeah, it's almost you can get everything vegan. What do you
Martina, what
say,
about
Martina? Yeah.
what about you? What's your favorite vegan dish?
Do it have to be Swedish?
Does it have to be Swedish? I suppose it doesn't have to be, but I was just kind of looking for like, dishes that somebody should try that's,
Yeah, but like
Swedish,
I
but
love potatoes. Like no meatballs.
oh, the no meatballs. Yeah.
Yeah, like and also like mushroom sauce. It's
So,
so good.
do you guys call Swedish meatballs in Sweden?
I just call it balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we call it balls, but
Yeah.
that would have a different kind of connotation for us. But that's what's always funny is to ask somebody, you wouldn't call it Mexican food in Mexico. We just call it food.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But I grew up, my mom used to make Swedish meatballs when we were growing up.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
how come?
What's that?
How come? Why
I
did
don't know. It was
you
just
like?
a 70s thing to do. I'm showing my age now, but it was
Oh,
just a
yeah.
thing to do in the 70s. Swedish meatballs were the thing,
Yeah.
Swedish
Mm.
meatballs and where you dip
Yes,
stuff in
spaghetti.
cheese,
No.
the fondue thing. It was a big 70s thing.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I'm
think.
born in the 70s, in the late 70s.
Yeah, so well, you missed it. I grew up
Yeah, I
all
missed
during the 70s.
it.
But yeah, it was
I
a
missed it.
70s thing to do the fondue, and I
Hmm.
think that was a Swedish thing, and the Swedish meatballs were a thing. But my mom used to make that. I should get her recipe and veganize that
Mm.
because we have these really great Gardein vegan meatballs are so good. I'm addicted to them. They're
Oh,
so good.
nice.
I should
Yeah.
get her recipe and I should veganize it. So,
Yes.
all right. So, I was going to say, how can they get involved with the local vegan community when they come there? If you just give me links, I'll go ahead and to your
Yeah.
organizations or any local activism that you know of or that you're a part of. I'll go
Yes.
ahead and just include that under the video here. Um,
Yes, please.
yeah. So yeah. Any other ways that they could get involved with the local vegans there?
I think you can, if you're active at the meetup.com community, you
Okay.
can find a lot of vegan activities in Stockholm. We used to post our activities at meetup.com.
Okay. That's great.
So it's also, yes, it's also a good place to find. Actually, that's the place I was finding to the activism. It was at meetup.
See, our meetups around here, it's just people socializing over food. They don't do
Oh,
activism.
yeah.
Yeah.
And here you can go and eat like dinner together if you
Yeah.
like to sometimes, and yeah, try different places. So yeah, there's a lot of different groups.
Yeah, we used to do like these meetups for eating and stuff, and then you just push the animal rights into their face, and then you vegan.
Yeah, that's a
That's
good
There
good.
you
one.
go.
Yeah,
That's the way to do it. There you
Yeah.
go.
exactly.
All right. Finally, I'm going to ask you, where would you like to visit one day and learn about veganism there? Someplace that you haven't been, someplace that you would like to, you've always been interested in going and you'd like to learn about veganism there.
Hmm.
Hmm. And um, the, the first place I'm thinking of is London. London. Uh, there's I've seen yeah, very big like footage and demonstrations and manifestations from there.
Yeah.
But I also have seen a lot of like marches in US in different cities. So yeah, like all over the world. I think I don't think I have a specific city I want to see.
Okay. And have you traveled at all? Have you been able to
Yeah,
travel?
yeah, yes, yeah. Not the last year, of course, but just before. I've been in US a few times.
Okay.
My boyfriend's family are from US,
Okay.
and I've also been around Europe, but I haven't been not during the activist year, of course. But yeah, I've seen a lot of places. So yeah, US I think is my favorite country if I can choose one. So
Okay.
probably maybe a city there after London.
Okay. Martina, what about you?
So when I think of like where I want to go, I'm just thinking about all the like if there is something I want to document, like filming, and I would like to help out filming live, like animal shippings, like when they ship the
Live
animals.
export?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I that's
Like from
something.
Australia? Like from
Yeah.
Australia and stuff like that?
So that's something
Hmm.
that I was planning when like Corona came and I had to go back to Sweden. So
Hmm.
that's something I want to do.
Wow, you're really You're a
Yeah.
bit of a sadist or a masochist, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that would be hard. Hard. You've got to have a certain constitution to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I admire people that do that
Yeah.
because it's needed. So thank
Same
you.
here. Yes.
Thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
that. So, but I know it's got to be hard on you. All right. So that's basically all my questions. Is there anything else you would like to tell the audience about being vegan in Sweden?
Yes,
Mm.
there's a lot of places. There's very good food you can buy in the store. It's very easy to be vegan. Go vegan in Stockholm
Great.
and come and join us.
Yeah.
I think it is a big community here in Stockholm with vegan activists. So yes, please come and visit us.
I would love to visit. Martina, what about
Yeah,
you?
you're so welcome.
I'm tired of Stockholm, but it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. Like we have a lot of vad heter det, Linda? We have a lot of water in the city. So and all the buildings in Old Town, and also I think it's a very open city. I would say, like
I think we are open-minded.
yeah.
That's great.
Not about the animal industry, maybe, but yes. Otherwise, I think we are open-minded.
You're working on it, and it sounds like
we're working on it.
you're doing great things. So
Thank you.
it's wonderful. Keep up the good work.
Thank
you so
Yeah,
much
thank you.
for being my
Thank you,
guest today.
Stacey. Thank you.
I really enjoyed talking to both of you and getting your
Thank you.
perspectives. And
Oh,
I'll keep. I'm going to keep an eye out on what you're doing over there, and
yes.
I'm really excited for you and the exposure that you're giving the animals. Thank you.
Thank you for your work too.
So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. I know it's getting late for you guys, so I'll let you go. We've been on here for almost an hour, so it's been really nice. It actually it went by really fast, so it was a pleasure meeting you. And again, any links that you give me, I will share below. Okay?
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I'm going to let you go now. You have a good
Thank
night.
you. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye.
So that was great conversation. Sweden sounds like such an interesting and progressive place to be, and a lot of great things happening with the activism there. I would love to be able to be involved in that one day. Maybe I'll be able to make it out of here one day. So thanks again for joining me. If you would like to know who I'm going to have next week, you got to show up. Thank you. Good night. Love you.